Hello, classmates. I would like to give you a short, like, a recap or a review of the things that you are supposed to have learned from me over the midterms. Now, even if it's not for the examination per se, I hope that these are things that this is like a cross check about seeing if the things that you are supposed to have learned or the things that you are supposed to have, grasped or absorbed from the subject or from me are attained or achieved. So we start with lesson 5 for the midterms. It's the media of art. We've talked about the principles and elements of design and the art. So when you talk about elements of art, of course you have your line, color, your shape, etc. And when you talk about principles of design, you have balance, you have balance, you have proportion, etc. So those are the keywords or those are the things that you're supposed to have memorized or mastered at this point here in the course. Of course, we've talked about the media of art for quite an extended period of time. We focused on the following: unity and variety, pattern. You remember you even had a task on Kozama Yayoi's art. So you tried to create patterns by creating serial forms in art. We also talked about balance, symmetrical balance, and asymmetrical balance, and of course in emphasis, which includes subordination. Directional force is not actually part of the principles of art and design, but it can help you understand an artwork. We also have contrast and of course repetition and rhythm, scale and proportion, among others. So when you talk about the elements of composition and art, there are actually eight that we always focus on as teachers and as students or critics. You have your unity, you have your balance, movement, rhythm, focus, contrast, pattern, and proportion. There is a cheat sheet that is included in your module. So if you want to be refreshed or for you to be able to memorize and know these things, just go over those terms and their definitions. We also discussed ingredients and surfaces. It was part of your asynchronous session for the most part. We talked about pigment, binder, and vehicle, which are important uh, elements, or these are actually the different ingredients that we need when we're going to make art. And of course, some of the most well-known medium, we have watercolor, we have fresco, we have encaustic, we have tempera, and we also have oil. So those are, and of course acrylic, sorry. And of course there are other things that are new, which are newly discovered or newly introduced or innovations as time passes by. We call these ones contemporary approaches. So it's really interesting. There's actually a lot of thing going on in the art world. It's very exciting and enticing at the same time to know and to find out what are these different media that are or mediums that are being used so that we'll be able to understand these artworks better or properly. Now we had lesson 6, which is about becoming an art reviewer. It's quite long, but it's because of the essay that you were supposed to have read. Now, I've discussed to you. Remember, I've given you a lecture on art criticism or art reading or art reviewing using the work of Amor Solo, especially Wingo Pickers, and we talked about Feldman, the 4 steps to art criticism. There are some. I told you that the questions are very important. It's very important to start your analysis by making questions when you look at an artwork, and this is what you did for your midterm project. And because of that, I will not be including this in your examination. So we will be having this in your asynchronous session also ask you to focus on formal, contextual, and expressive theories. When we talk about formal theories, these are theories or these are ways at looking at art based on form. So pag sinasabi nating formal theories, we are referring to how do you understand or how do you read an artwork based on its form, based on what you can see. So when you look at Mona Lisa, for example, when you look at Mona Lisa, the painting, it's actually if it's a formal analysis, you try to look at the painting and try to make sense out of the things that you are seeing. It's actually similar to your virtual tour. So when you talk about formal analysis, It's about looking at the line, it's looking at the colors, looking at the shapes, looking at the proportion. You use the elements and principles of arts and design as we have discussed. Yun yung importansya, or that is the idea behind formal theory. Contextual theories, on the other hand, look at the environmental influences on the work of art. So when you talk about contextual theories, this refers to the environment or to the cultural milieu, milieu, cultural milieu of a painting. We try to talk about was this artwork produced at the time of the aristocrats. Remember, for example, contextual theories are important to understand because when you look at the work of, let's say, Amor Solo, who we've been talking about for a long time, he was born in a time, he was, remember the context that I gave you, his story. He was born at a time where he had more appreciation for the Spanish culture rather than the American culture. So you can see that he was celebrating remnants of the Spanish culture or the Spanish heritage in most of his paintings, right? Like religion, you can see that in his paintings of the fiesta. The fiesta even is a word that is actually a Spanish word. So contextual theories will help you understand also what are the certain motivations or what are the certain inspirations of these painters or these artists when they do their artworks based on when they were born, where they are in, or where they are at, or their generation. So those are contextual theories. For expressive theories, on the other hand, this is about skill level, personal intent, emotional state, mindset, and the gender of the creator. So when you talk about expressive theories, what are the individual or what are the personal motivations of an artist in creating this piece of an artwork? So when you talk about expressive, for example, like this is an intellectual, and Leonardo da Vinci is well known as a mathematician at the same time. So artists or critics are always noting this this intersection about, or intersectionality about the discussion about Mona Lisa being or Leonardo da Vinci as an artist and Leonardo da Vinci as a mathematician or a thinker. And when you combine all of these things, what are the essences or what are the scientific knowledge or what are the scientific ideas in Da Vinci that you can also see in the work in his artworks? And I think that's a very strong discussion because especially right now in your generation, right? Like in our generation, many artists are like that. They are very, very expressive. And that's one of the key things that we need to look into. Kaya nga siya expressive theories because artists are expressive. You want your art to reflect your gender. You want your art to reflect your politics. You want your art to reflect your race, right? Artists right now, especially those who are born from the margins or those who belong to marginalized sectors, like in terms of race, color, religion, indigenous peoples, for examples, for example, what are we doing right now to assert our or to express our concept, our ourselves, or our what's this our narratives and our our who we are, our base identities. We use art, right? So nakikita nyo yan sa sidewalk. Even for example, when you talk about marginalization, you can also refer to those the thugs, right? I think that's a very nice example, but not many teachers or not many critics would surely agree with me. They would say that, oh, like thugs or those who are destroying art, that's actually bad. And I agree with that. Like dito sa Baguio, there was a painter who did a series of paintings, and then there was just a graffiti artist who destroyed it. So there's a question about, remember, what is and what is not art. So in terms of those who are putting graffiti or applying graffiti on public spaces, there's a question about ano ba yung gusto nilang i-express. And when you talk about expressive theories, for me this is very interesting because sometimes what they do when they do not deface, if they do not deface or hindi na sisirain ng existing na art, but when they do deface a sidewalk or a wall, what is this supposed to express? So that's what expressive theories are all about. Okay, so I will not ask you things related to this, but of course, there are some parts pala related to the three theories like contextual, expressive, and formal theories. But I will be asking you about our discussion before on curating or curation. Of course, there are the keywords there: curator, exhibition designer, center line, accent wall, anchor piece, and your wall text. So those are the things that we can that I may be asking. No need to review the part about writing art reviews. That's already your midterm project. I will not be asking anything related to that. But please go over Reading the Image by Alice Guillermo, because I will be asking questions based on this. I might be having around 10 to 15 items of the whole exam based on Reading the Image by Alice Guillermo. So I didn't give you a quiz on this before because I included it in the exam para isang bagsakan. It's just one go. It's I know it's quite a long essay, but I will only be asking about the key parts or the key points. So those are the thing those are part of the things that you need to prepare for. Those are the things you need to review. And finally, for art history, I will not be asking you, or I will not be adding art history technically. When I say technically, like, the base points of it. However, in the examination, I will be asking, or I will be putting in there some paintings, and you need to identify the title as well. So for example, this one is the Gross Clinic. Of course, we didn't talk about this, but there are some paintings in the past that I have asked you that I have explained, or that I may have introduced to you. So you must know their titles also. Don't worry, the ones that I usually ask in exams are the more famous or the more well-known artworks. Para naman, it's a way for me to see if you are memorizing. When you are done with the subject, at least you already know, or you can identify certain artworks which are famous in the art scene. I will not be asking anything related to this anymore. I will not be asking to you, like, I don't know, like, maybe ask you, the funerary mask is in what age? It's Mycenaean, it's Grecian, it's Greek. I will not ask you those questions already. That's for art major students. But um this is something that you've done in high school, so you can stick to that. I hope that you enjoyed and you remember your ideas from the art history ideas from senior high school and junior high school, and I think that's enough for you. Okay. Some questions can also come from the playlist. That's why the examination is like 60 points in total. A few of them are 2 points each. However, even if it's an examination, I mean, some of the questions are also taken from your playlists. So what you must know is that when I give you some things to watch in YouTube, or when I have a playlist, or when I discuss something, I actually have like a piece of paper. I have a notebook where I already put the some questions in there. So for example, when I sent you a video on curating, I already listed some questions in there, like what are these ano ba yung mga ito. So I already posted some questions. I'm already writing some questions which I will be asking you during the examination. So I also hope that on your end, when I give you a playlist next time, or when I ask you to watch a series of videos, you watch them. Don't worry, I am not giving you I'm not giving you items or identification items where it's simply for memorization, something that you will also forget. More or less, as you have observed, the questions that I always give are related to an application of the things that you are supposed to have learned. So sometimes some of the items may also crisscross or intersect with ideas or concepts that we have learned in the first grading. So it's just a way to have a continuation and a way to instill in you the things that we are learning in class. Okay? I'm also posting in your class directory your new codes, because we cannot use the old class marker that I have sent you. Remember that? Because the account got compromised. So I have to create a new account, or I have to create a new set of class marker lessons or groups for your examination. Class marker is actually free for you, but the teacher has to pay. So for your registration, I gave you codes already. Go to register. click on test takers. So all test takers register here, and then you log in everything that you need. So let me log that out. Sorry. So let's pretend that you are creating a new one. Put the registration code that I have given you. Write your first name. Please write your real name and complete name. Your first name, your last name or surname. Username, something that's simple. For example, me, it's Ian Layugan. Your nickname and your family name or your full name or your initials like IS Layugan, something like that. And the password that you can remember. Now, the password in here must be 8 characters long and must be less than 72 characters. However, it must contain one number and one letter. So I suggest look for a word and then put a number with it. For example, your password could be like I don't know, alcohol 15 or cologne 8 or ano ba? Mga as long as it's 8 pages long, cold coffee 24, something like that. So try to make sure that your passwords are easy to memorize and also easy to type, not very complicated, especially if you're using a phone. It can take time to log in. So make sure that you write down these details because you'll also be using this for the finals. You'll be using class marker for the finals. This is our new rule. For every time that you're going to ask me to reset, I will count that. And during the examination, I'm going to give you a minus 10. So for example, you're registering today, and then during the examination on, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, you'll be saying, sir, I forgot, or I cannot access my Google, my class marker for any reason that you cannot access that. As long as it's on your end, you will get the minus 10. So do not give me reasons like, sir, hindi ko mabuksan, tama naman yung password, which is actually one of the funniest things I always hear. Every single time from some of you here enrolled right now in ARTAPP, you tell me, sir, nilalagay ko naman, tama naman yung sinulat ko, yun naman yung nilalagay ko, how come hindi ako makalagin? Can't you hear how absurd that sounds? You're telling me that you're putting the right thing but it won't get through. I do not know who you want to adjust. Is it you or the system? There's something wrong on your end. Baka iba yung tinype mo, iba yung sinulat mo. Imposibleng magkakamali yung class marker. Imposibleng magkakamali yung system. It's always on your end. So make sure that you do it and then you try it again. But I'm just telling you right now, feel free to have your accounts reset every single time, but know that you will have minus 10 for every time that I'm going to reset. So if I'm going to reset your account twice, that's minus 20 already direct to your examination. And your exam is usually around 60 or over 70. So warning na yan ha. I hope I will not be resetting any account for the exams. Write your email ad, choose Philippines or wherever you are right now. Click that. I agree with the class marker, register, and you're on your own. You're on your way to take the examination. Please log in 5 to 10 minutes before the scheduled exam so that you'll be able to will be able to start on time, especially if you have internet problems. Now, in terms of the test time, basta magsisimula ako kung ano yung oras. So for example, your class with me is 8 to 9 a.m. I'm going to we're going to start at like 8:05 or 8:10. So I'm going to count that. So we will be having 45 minutes for the exam, 45 minutes only. So if you joined late and you're able to start the exam at 8:30, you only have and then we started at 8:10, you're going to have like 35 minutes left na. Parang gano'n. So, basta 45 minutes yung tops niya. So, for example, we started the exam at 8:05. It means that everyone is supposed to finish at 8:50 and you're only able to join at 8:30, then you only have 20 minutes to finish. Kung ano yung nakalagay na end time, it goes for everybody. So, if you are only able to join at 8:45 and it's supposed to end at 8:50, then you only have 5 minutes left. You take the test, answer what you can, and you get zero for the rest that you didn't answer. So please make sure to be on time to log in significantly before the start of the test. And for you to be loaded at the same time, please make sure na nakapag-load naman kayo, you are ready for the examination. If you are not on an internet connection or if you're not able to, connect to Wi-Fi or to have good DSL connection and you are loading, you have to really consider loading twice. I know it's expensive. I know ang mahal or something, but it's just for the exam. You're doing this three times a semester. It's also it will also give you a peace of mind so that when you are taking the test, you are not bothered or you are not angry that you are not able to take the test properly because your data is very weak. And you have to strategize also. So I know that not everyone has the same situation in here, but we all have to do our best because we decided to enroll. We decide to be here. We decide to be in this class regardless of our situation. So you have to, panindigan talaga natin whatever we started. Okay? So good luck with your examination. I hope you're comfortable during your exams, in all of your exams. Get good rest, keep hydrated, make sure to have eaten. What is this? Just try to relax yourselves. In terms of cheating, last note, there are some students from before who would, I'm not sure if it's in your class or whatever class, but there are some instances where students are messaging me and saying like, sir, I know that this student cheated or this student did this and that, etc. Number one, if you don't have proof, don't bother coming to me or don't bother giving me a complaint. However, I need to tell you that not all of your classmates have the same feeling as you when you want to cheat. So for example, in one of my classes, someone nagkamali no ng send sa GC niya na send. That's already proof. So I will give the student 0 for the exam. I'm not Other teachers are stricter. They will give you flat 70 or they will even fail you from the subject. But for me, bahala na si Lord sa'yo, basta 0 ko na lang yung exam mo. And there are also time when, for example, um, there are some students who are like there's one student who sent I don't know what happened there, but it's not an exam. Parang ginawa niya, he sent one item to a classmate and then she asked something like, let's trade. So you answer number 14 and then you can ask me any other item that you haven't answered. So let's trade or let's swap. And the student was uncomfortable with it, so the student screenshot that and then sent it to me. And I was, well, of course, I asked the other student, so the other student also got 0. The point is, you are not smarter or you are not, even if you get away with cheating and other people are happy with that, it's okay. Like, that's you, 'di ba? Kung nag-cheat ka sa klase ko or sa ibang teachers, konsensya mo na yon. Kung wala ka mang konsensya, basta sinasabi ko sa'yo, kakarmahin ka at nakakatakot ang karma. Times 10 talaga yan. Back at you ang tawag dyan. Pag times 10 back at you yan, maalala mo, when someone will cheat on you or something will do bad things to you, please remember what I said. If you are cheating and someone will also cheat on you, remember what Ian said. That's your karma and it's coming to you times 10. So I'm not actually nervous about students who are cheating. If everyone in your class decided to cheat, as long as you are not caught, go ahead, make your day. Basta God bless. Ganun lang yon. Kasi minsan talagang maraming issues dyan. Like, sir, si Miss ganito or si Mr. ganito. I don't want us to worry about that anymore. It's a lot of things there are a lot of things to process. Huwag na natin pag-usapan yung mga nag-cheat. So, good luck everybody. I'll see you in the examinations. I'll talk to you then. Review well and have a great day.